And good morning and welcome to Gulfstream today. Brian Naddle, Samantha Perry with you on another beautiful day here in Hollandale Beach. A little, use this term loosely, a little chill in the air as you overlook the firm turf course, fast main track, the Tapeta as well. A little cut in the air this morning.
Yeah, there is. I'm feeling it. I don't know about you. I know you like the air, but we don't need it today.
No, we do not need it today, but it probably feels like about 95 to you after you took a little quick sojourn up north and got some snow.
And got some snow. I saw some snow yesterday, and quickly back here. Don't want to see it anymore.
No, that is not a complaint at all. $250,000 in the gross jackpot Rainbow Six. That kicks off, don't forget now, an 8-race card here on Wednesday. So that's going to kick off in race 3. Ron Nicoletti's got a ticket. He'll be up here with me in the opener as Samantha shifts out to that firm turf course. And that'll kick off in race 3. And it grows very, very quickly around here. The early pick 5 will go quickly as well, and we'll kick it off in race 1. We'll take a look at my ticket on what is a pretty solid sequence here. I think there's races where you can definitely spread a little bit. You can see my $36 ticket there. Get to the opener in a second in race number 2. The order is 3-2. The single, the best bet of the day, is in race number 3. That's Classy Boy off the claim for trainer Danny Hertak. Then a 3x4 double to get out of the sequence. Number 2, McMoney on top in race 4. And then in race number 5, the 5, Frankie's Girl, just trying to get this horse with clear running. We'll show the replay as well. So there it is there. $36 ticket. The opener is a really, really good one. 25 starter allowance on the turf. We go a mile and a 16th for the 4-year-olds and up. And Samantha, down towards the inside with Jack the Cat for you.
Yeah, and this is like my best bet of the day, and not in your early pick 5. That worries me a little bit. But I will say that this is a horse, or a barn in particular, that has been dropping in a lot for horses as of late and doing quite well with them. And I like the way he's just kind of churning out these races. He gets Irad Ortiz to retain the mount here as well. Just was a narrow victory last time out when they did claim him. And I think that this is a barn that can do well with this claim.
Yeah, Billy Therinos has had a very, very strong championship meet. And he's, as Samantha said, he's been dipping in quite a bit and claiming horses. This horse ran very well last time. I just thought when you watched the race, he had to win. He got completely set up, who 3 horses who kind of got fried a little bit. And, to his credit, he won and looked good doing it. Class Rise today. That's a confident move by Billy. I was just going to play against him a little bit. Super energizer for me, for Frank Russo. He's just got proven form on turf and Tapeta. But I look at that turf race, Samantha, 3 back. He ran a 7 on the Thoroughgrass with a big buyer. And I know it was against Florida Breds, but I think it puts him squarely in the mix here.
It does. And I think the only thing that kind of hesitated me putting this horse further up was just those horses that came back out of that turf race, that Jai Solitude, Java Buzz, they were a bit flat in that last turf race.
Yeah, and Java Buzz is starting to burn a little bit of money down since he came down here. I do think that's fair. We both have interest in my man Flint, who's down inside. The issue is he's got no speed whatsoever.
Yeah, and when you're stuck on the rail like that, it's going to be tough now. It's a long run into the first turn here, but still, it's hard to work out a trip when you're on the rail and you don't have any speed.
Yeah, and there's some good horses in here, too. And spotting them ground on a turf course that's very firm out there is a little bit of a tricky, dicey proposition. We'll take a look at race 2 now. Kicks off the early pick 4. Maiden Claimer, 12.5s here. 3-year-olds and up. Now, don't forget, and the tag is 12.5, 12.5, 7 furlongs on the fast main track.
And this is an interesting race here that I think the 2 or the 3 are the likeliest winners. And I really feel like you just have to pick one because but it's just not really worth it to play both of them. Chief Rocca, this is a horse that is kind of just been quite odd in his last 2 runs, taking a pretty big class drop. Was running in that 40,000. We're going to get to this race in just a moment, but I'm leaning on him. Race 3, the number 5 is my top pick. That's Classy Boy, but a couple other ones I think could be scary. Race number 4, the 9, Poncivial. This was a massive runaway winner last out. I'm hoping he can repeat that again. And then race number 5, turf race with some very competitive runners. Frankie's Gal, the 5, is my top pick. Like Brian alluded to, that horse just cannot get a trip.
Not at all. And to Samantha's point here, now I played a $36 early pick 5. You know, and the pick 5 is a different animal altogether. You don't have to beat a favorite. You just got to hit it. You get paid off. To Samantha's point, early pick 4, you know, you're only 4 races now instead of 5. To use 2 favorites doesn't, you know, pick 1 or
none.
You know, or none.
Yeah.
And to her point, I get it on a $6 ticket. If you double it, you know, it doesn't make a lot of sense. Maybe you use the other horse, you know, a couple times and the main horse more than that. Just, you know, food for thought on a sequence like that, because Chief Rocker or Bobby's Candy, one of the two are supposed to win.
Yeah, they really are. And Bobby's Candy on buyers is a bit better here. But I kind of just feel like, why hasn't this horse won yet?
Well, I think it's fair. I only picked him because he's outside of Chief Rocca.
Yeah.
If it was reversed, I would have picked Chief Rocca. He's had his chances. He's 0 for 7. The blinkers come off. Maybe it settles him a little bit. I don't think he wanted to be dueling on the lead on the Tapeta last time.
No, I think that was a little too much for him. And we've seen these sprints on the Tapeta. The lead is really not where you want to be. Just in general, it kind of just will fade away here. So he's back to the dirt now. And they've tried a lot of different things with him. Maybe this stretch out will be kind of what the doctor ordered for him. It makes a big difference at extra half furlong.
Yeah, it does. And to Chief Rocca's, you know, benefit, Bobby's Candy went to the 20 level and woke up last time. Chief Rocca hasn't done that yet. This is his first drop. Both of them are a little tough to trust, but who else are you going with if it's not them?
Yeah, exactly. You can't really. I looked a little bit at Kaiser. This is a horse that is getting on to the main track for the very first time. Obviously, these horses gallop across it, and most of them work on it, but the first real race for this horse. And, you know, it's a bit of a lateral move here, but I just don't really know what to do with him because it's not like he completely despises the Tapeta, because at Woodbine he ran okay on it.
Yeah, I mean, I agree, and you just don't know what you're getting off such a no-show. First team is somewhat interesting. He's got a better post today, and he comes out of an okay race, but I would think you're going to use Chief Rocca and Bobby's Candy. You're going to be okay.
Yeah, you've got to be.
2 down. That means 6 to go, so we'll take a quick break here on Gulfstream today. When we come back, it's Rainbow Six time. Ron Nicoletti's got a ticket, $250,000 in the gross jackpot guarantee.
And they're off.
And welcome back to Gulfstream today. Brian and Samantha with you on another beautiful day here in Hollandale Beach. A little cooler today, no humidity. Come on out and say hi on this 8-race card, and 2 down, so we've got 6 left. That means it's Rainbow Six time. $250,000, $250,000 in the gross jackpot guarantee, and there's the playbook ticket for Ron.
Yep, 43.20. He's spreading in this race a bit. We'll get to it in just a moment. Race number 4, he's using 2. He's got Poncivio, the 9, who's going to be a tough horse, but he's also got the number 3, Hello Jack, in there as well. His single in race number 5 is the 2 Social Engagement filly that I don't know what we're going to get with her here. She's a need the lead type. That must be his best bet of the day. 3 by 3 by 3 to end the sequence here. He's got my long shot of the day in race 6, Fidalia. That's the number 1. In race number 7, he's taking a couple here, but I think Mannix is quite interesting, Brian, the number 1 for the Mark Casse barn. Just one of 2 Mark Casse horses in the race. And race 8, the finale, 5 furlongs on the turf course. The rails are out at 63 feet today, so the outside post could be a bit problematic, but he's using a bit of coverage in there with Peach Cobbler and Miss Sakamoto and French Kissing 43.20.
He's got a bold single there, too, in
Yeah.
social engagement. She has a big chance, don't get me wrong. That is a race, though, that is very tough and very, very wide open. You know, we said this on Sunday. We basically say it every day when we just get started in the Rainbow. You know, you come up with a couple of prices, you have a chance. There was a single on Sunday.
Yeah, there was.
So,
and it was a nice pool as well.
Absolutely. So get involved. It's still, you know, in its infancy before it gets huge. But get involved. You can still, I think 2 people hit it for 19,000. They split with no singles the other day. So it's still a big, big number out there. Race number 3 will kick it off. It's an interesting race on the Tapeta here, sprinting a snappy 5 for these $16,000 3-year-old claimers. And we've both got the top pick. I think I'm a little more aggressive than you because Classy Boy is my best bet in single. But, you know, if you don't like him, there are a lot of different ways you might go in here.
Yeah, there are. And Classy Boy just caught a really tough winner. That Bourbon Therapy was a huge class dropper in that last race here. You know, he can easily blow this field out of the water. But like you mentioned, Brian, I think that there's some other horses that could be a little bit of a little problematic here, and Smart Coverage is one that I think is going to be interesting for the Saffie Joseph barn.
Yeah, he's plummeting in class. Just quickly with Classy Boy, I thought he was a little compromised by the pace last time. He was very wide on the far turn. At least on paper, he will not be compromised today because there are a lot of horses that want to fly early on.
Yeah, and it's going to set him up perfectly for his running style.
Yeah, and Smart Coverage might be one of them, but what do you make? He gets to Saffie's barn last time. He runs off the layoff. They put him in a salty spot, 32 optional claimer. He ran about 3 furlongs and stopped.
Yeah, exactly. And the running line says steady into turn, but he kind of just was wrapped up on it. Wasn't really much at all to look at. Irad, though, gets on him here, and Saffie can be good with these moves where you have no idea what you're going to get, but he's got a big operation. Does he need a horse like this?
Right. And the other thing, too, now, this horse was between that day. The horses that he was running with, they finished first and third. It's not like the race fell apart.
Right.
They finished first and second. They were first and third early. It's not like the race fell apart. He fell apart. Now with Irad, an underlay price on the plummet, I would tread a little lightly with Smart Coverage. A late pick 5. This is the Wednesday when we just have horizontal exotics rolling across the board. I like it. That means Samantha's up in a late pick 5 in race 5 here in this starter optional claimer going 7.
Yep, and I've got 2 anchors, one to kick it off with the Poncivial. Race number 5, I think, is a tough one, and I want to use these horses that we're going to show the replay of Frankie's Girl, Midnight Bell. They're all coming out of the same race here, but Frankie's Girl is my top pick. Race number 6, my long shot, Fidalia, for the Mike Dunslow barn, second off the layoff from that Woodbine campaign. Race number 7, another very tough race on the Tapeta. We have here some nice horses that have been running in stakes company. The number 1, Mannix, so is my top pick, who's actually coming out of the Ontario Derby, but just was 4th and only 5 horses in the race. And then race number 8, the 9 is my single. That's French Kissing, a fresh horse coming into this race with Irad Ortiz, but the post position could be a bit iffy here.
4th sounds better than second last, at least.
It does. You're right, yeah.
So we've got the single for Samantha. I'll let her lead it off with the 9, who just completely ran off the screen, off the claim for Rohan Crichton last time. Faces winners, but boy, he drew perfectly for that.
Yeah, no kidding. And this is a horse where facing winners for the first time, it's always a tough task here, but it was just the way that he did it was really impressive. And I think he's either going to be one of these horses that will repeat that, and we'll see him maybe in some overnight stakes company a little bit later on, maybe. The way he ran last time, though, it could go the complete other way, Brian, where he falls apart this race.
Well, yeah, and Rohan Crichton off the claim is just seismic. Plus, he added LASIK. So, but you know, there are big positives here too. He's drawn perfectly. He's not in for a tag, so you know he's going to be a very, very short number. Very few scratches on the card. The 6 is out though. Midnight Getaway. I went with McMoney. I didn't want to pick the 9, that's all. He's going to be 3 to 5 in here. I just didn't want to pick him. I certainly used him to get out of this early pick 5. But McMoney, let's take a look at the stat guys with Cheryl Weinbaugh, who comes down here, you know, from the Midwest, from Chicago each year. And you know, I feel like she wins a race or two. This kind of surprised me. She's got 9 wins dirt sprinting the last 3 years here with a big, big ROI. I thought it was significant, Samantha, that Luis Saez lands here. This horse ran a 14 in that race at Indiana, 3 back. And the other thing I like is that this horse has a lot of foundation to run 7 furlongs. that can be tricky on horses.
Yeah, it can. And it's a weird distance because you want to take a good position early, but you don't want to burn them out because
Right.
you need something left in the tank. You get that far finish line, so you've got a ways to go here. So you have to really pick and choose where you want to use your horse. I know this is a horse you've picked a couple times, I think.
Yeah, and I'm going to come back to him one more time just because the risk reward is going to be there.
Yeah.
We know Provincial's going to bottom out the board. And listen, he might gallop off again, but at a very short price, trying a few things. He's trying 7 furlongs today, too. Just maybe he stubs his toe a little bit. Now, late pick 4 time in the 5th here. We're on that firm turf course. His starter optional claimer, 32 for fillies and mares, 4-year-olds and up. We'll take a look at my ticket here. $12, kind of similar to what Samantha's got in the early pick 4. I will spread here. My long shot's in race 6. It's not your long shot, but mine is check the grade in there. That is the 3, so I'll go 35. Here's the single in race 7. Carruthers. Carruthers is going to be a horse that's going to be bet really, really hard, and it will not be remotely close to the 5-to-1s. I want to get some value by singling him in there, and then 3 deep in the finale with French Kissing, who we've got a replay coming up as well. So, I'll throw it to you. I did pick Frankie's Girl, but I know you pulled up the replay. 3 of them come out of the Frankie's Girl race that was won by Midnight Bella.
Yeah, and I think it's important to kind of see these races play out because usually if you're going to use 1 or 2 of them, you should use all of them coming out of the race here. So Social Engagement's in the lead in the red. This is a filly that she goes to the front. There's no question of tactics, and let's see how far she can take them. I don't know if we're going to get somebody that's going to run with her today because there are quicker horses. Midnight Bella, she was a horse that was even money, and we saw Frankie's Girl really try to make a nice move and just flattened out a bit.
She was, to me, and I like her. She's been good to me. She was so much the best. I have no idea why she was out the back in that race.
Yeah, exactly. And you can't see it from the replay, but she really made up a ton of ground, which on this turf course is hard to do.
It's hard to do, and they weren't stopping, as you saw there, and it was a 5-horse field, and I remember us watching it. Why is she back there? I would expect, and Tyler Gaffalione's ridden her before. He rode her 2 back.
Yeah.
I would think she's a lot closer today, and she's not giving anything away early on. Midnight Bella, she's the horse to beat, Samantha, but I think, as you just saw there, her margin is so small.
It is, especially compared to those other runners. If you're going to use Midnight Bella, you really should be using Social Engagement, Frankie's Girl, at least, because she's one that she was kind of all out to win last time, but she has been so consistent lately.
No, Safi's done a really good job with her off the claim. Talk a little bit about Social Engagement. I know you know her from Brendan. Ronnie's single in this Rainbow Six.
Yeah, it's a very aggressive single, and this is a filly that she was a claiming filly last year, running for 16,000, and they really kind of threw her into some deep waters up here in Florida, and she's kind of really developing each time that she runs, which is nice to see from the Brendan Walsh run. But she's kind of a quirky filly, and I kind of wonder, those last 2 starts, she's been very, very good, but she's got some weird habits, and she just kind of she's like the master of her own destiny. So let's see what kind of mood she's in today.
She might get brave, right? I think she might be the speed in here,
right.
And we'll see. That puts Midnight Bella in a pretty good spot, too. But this is a tough race. I like what Ronnie's doing there. The single, when you single in a race like that, it gives so much leverage on your horizontals and against the betting public as well. Let's look at race 6. This is a good one now because both Samantha and I have our dueling long shots in here. We're sprinting 5.5 on the Tapeta. The tag is 10 for these fillies and mares, 4-year-olds and up in this spot here. And let's go to you. Oh, we've got the replay, too, of Fidalia, who's down inside.
Yeah, but this was her first start off of a layoff from November at Woodbine. Here she was on the rail here. It's not the most ideal spot on the Tapeta. And when she switched into her right lead, she kind of kicked on just a little bit. Now, the field just got the best of her, but I like that she just didn't give it up there, Brian. She still kept running. She's got her ears pinned back. She's ready. Now, she did switch into her left lead there, but I think she was just kind of getting out of the way of the heels of the 2 there. We've been saying it time and time again, the second star off of the Woodbine type of campaign here. Imogen Wilson, she's very good at these Tapeta races here. Now she draws the rail, which you don't want a lot of part of, but I think she can work out a trip.
Very quietly, Emma Jane's had a good championship week. She's not
Mm-hmm.
riding 3-to-1s out there every day.
No.
She, limited starters. She's done a very, very good job with the horses that she's got. And, Fidalia, that was a perfect example. A good ride there. This horse was running on. The extra half furlong won't hurt this horse either. I mean,
No.
I've got this horse third. Check the Grade is my long shot. And, I've mentioned Angel Morales, a 7-pound apprentice, has done some good things here too. And he's been aggressive. If you watch him,
Yep.
he knows he's getting a weight break, and he's been aggressive. Oddly enough, for a Tapeta sprint going 5.5, there's not a lot of heat in this race. I'm going to just hold my breath. Maybe check the Grade gets brave in here.
He really could. Chasing Joy is the only horse that I could see maybe hooking. But still, that horse last out, she didn't really show much speed at all. I don't know if it was just because of the class she was running with or not, but she could get brave. And when we talk about getting brave, when these fillies just get that kind of confidence in them, sometimes they just keep rolling.
Yeah, and Dreaming of Audrey's the 5. You've got her much further down. She was good. I'm not going to take anything away from her, and she ran fast. I just thought she was kind of dressed up off that race a little bit.
Yeah, she was. And, Chris Davis did a good job since claiming her. But she won her last Tapeta race. I'm still going to stand my ground on that one.
You're stubborn.
Yeah, I am. And we'll see. I'm trying to find a pattern on these Tapeta races, and this is the closest one I've found so far.
Well, to Samantha's point, if you find something that's works for you, especially as we're, it's been over a year, I get it, but we're all still getting inundated with the Tapeta. Let's bring up the stat guys with Chris Davis, sprinting on all-weather surfaces now, because Chris is a guy that, this is at Gulfstream, 17%, 4 wins, and Chris has had a really good championship meet. But, to Samantha's point, you got to try to find things that work for you on the Tapeta. We've got the Horse Racing Nation graphics, and they really do, I think, steer us in the right direction. When you see a stat where 90% of the horses sprinting on the Tapeta are within a few lengths at the pace call, that's pretty darn meaningful.
Yeah.
So, take note of that. We'll get the late double going in race number 7. We're back on the Tapeta, but conversely now we're routing in this optional claimer. This is as good a Tapeta race as we're going to run.
Yep.
It's deep. It's competitive at 1.70 miles. Go a lot of different ways. You mentioned Mannix down inside.
Yeah, and this is a horse that was running in some tough company at Woodbine, but is no stranger to this course here, has a win over this Gulfstream Park Tapeta track, and it was a nice win as well. I don't know what we're going to get with him off of the layoff in the Ontario Derby. Like we said, he was second to last in that race, but it was still 4th, and, it was, I think, just a little more than he wanted. They've kind of run him on the turf, the Tapeta, gone back and forth with it, and one time on the dirt. I like his 2 bullet works here at Gulfstream Park. I like the fact that they've got him over this Tapeta course again, just kind of reminding him here. He was at the farm, at the Mark Cassie's farm in Ocala a little bit earlier, but I like the fact that the past at least month and a half, he's been training here at Gulfstream, which will give him an edge.
Yeah, and Luis Saez is here too, so we've got some intent reaching out for, a jockey that the defending champion as well. I like Carruthers a lot in this spot. We're off the claim for Marty Drexler. We can bring that stat up, guys, and then I'll talk about this one a little bit. But 28% off the claim routing. This is all weather because Marty's based at Woodbine the last several years during, non-championship meet, we'll call it. Carruthers, speed figures are your thing. He ran a 95 Beyer. He ran a 5 on the Thoroughgraphs last time. Yes, he won by a nose. He was a month the best in that race. He got whacked around and checked out of it at the critical time. And to his credit, he still came wide and sweeping and got there. It looks to me like Marty made a really, really good claim at the right time. I singled him because I want to get value. I can't possibly imagine he's remotely close to 5-1.
No, you won't get it at all. And Alley Oop Johnny, who ran second to him, came back and won pretty impressively as well. This is a race where you need to take a stand or take a few in, because the late double here, you could play for a lot of money. I mean, it's a tough little spot here, and you don't really know who's going to step up off of these some of these layoffs or not. It's a tough race, and it's a very nice one as well, because there's some horses that, what do you do with like the number 4 Newsworthy? We don't have this horse included, but what if this horse just explodes on the Tapeta? It's just, I say that now, the horse is going to win.
Yeah, total wild card for Bill Mott. I don't know. I don't think this was part of the plan for Newsworthy, but we'll see what we get. Grant David, who's favored on the morning line, to me, you've got him in second. He's a little up against it. He's stepping out of restricted company. I know those are stakes races.
Right.
These are older horses today.
They are, and that's a tough task to face. He's fresh coming into this, which when you get to this part of the meet now with a little less than a month left, sometimes these fresh horses you kind of have to grab at here because they've got a little bit of an edge to them.
No, I don't disagree with that. But you look at his races, even his best races really don't put a scare into anyone in here. He's going to try to do it the hard way, and that's wiring on the Tapeta. And there are horses to his outside that could make that a little problematic. So we'll see what we get from him. But, boy, it's a good one in race 7.
It is.
Samantha mentioned it, too. You're not doing yourself and your bankroll any favors by going 5 deep in a spot like that. So you can try to narrow it down. It's going to be beneficial in the long run as well. Let's wrap it up on a firm turf course in the 8th. It's an optional claimer here. Fillies and mares 4 and up. We're going to sprint 5 furlongs, and they go quick. French Kissing. Both of us have this one on top. You've got the replay.
Yeah, I do. And this is a replay of this filly winning at Pimlico here. I think it's good to watch these. It says a lot about a filly, the way that she wins. And, she had this field beat, and she just kind of kept rolling, which was so nice to see. Now, she was just so game. That was only her second start. She debuted at Monmouth, which was a very fast track, and I think almost a little too fast for her, the turf course there. She galloped out great out of that race. Now, there's a layoff and a trainer switch to kind of put into some thought here, but consistent works at Palm Meadows here. Jose D'Angelo does good with these layoffs. I think this is a trainer I trust with these types of layoffs, and they're going 5 furlongs. She draws in one more spot with the scratch of the 3 designed by Kitten, but the rails are at 63 feet, Brian.
Yeah, and the other thing, too, Samantha, you look at her last race at Laurel, the 1X, you look at her running style, she checked out of it that race, too. She does not have to be back there.
No.
We don't want to be back there in this turf sprint, that's for sure, going 5, because this is so snappy. There's speed to her left. Irad can work a position. If she breaks, I expect her to be in this race. And to me, she has more upside than anyone in here, because anyone else in here, they look like they're stuck in neutral a little bit.
Yeah, and Miss Sakamoto, if you've been playing her throughout her career, you've lost more times than you've won.
Yeah, and she's burned a lot of money because she's owned by My Racehorse. They're going to take a lot of money. And can she win? Absolutely, and you won't have to look hard to find her. She'll be close early on, but as Samantha kind of hinted at, she's losing ground in the stretch every time.
Yeah, she is, and she's quick too. And they've tried a couple different things with her. When she did break her maiden here around this time last year, she did come from off of it, but now she's kind of just been gunning to the front.
Yeah,
we'll see what we get. The horse that did beat her last time, that Frozen Solid, that's a nice horse for Brian Lynch, so you can't take that away from her, but I just think that you're going to get a shorter price on that horse than you will on French Kissing.
Yeah, Peach Cobbler had a big number for you down towards the inside, maybe to spice things up. Cheryl Weinbaugh again.
Yep, and you can't take anything away from a horse that's won her last 3 outs, 3 different racetracks, and 2 different surfaces. That says a lot about her.
And the good thing with her, because she blew it up last time at 18-1, you're going 20 on the morning line, I guess. You're going to get another price on her, because a lot of times the betting public just doesn't believe in those kinds of races. Boy, it's a tough card today. 8 races, 8 good ones, deep competitive races. So get involved. Best of luck. Don't forget the Rainbow at 250. But before we leave you, lightning round time. And as we do each and every Wednesday here, we'll check out the standings. And as we have talked each and every Wednesday, there's not much to report on the jockeys front here. Irad is just long gone.
Yep, he has. He's set up for a really incredible rest of the year here, especially with Forte under his belt as well. Luis Saez, he's doing great. Jose Ortiz, though, he's on his heels. Yeah,
that's going to be an exciting battle all the way through April 2nd, closing day of the championship meet, that they're vying underneath on the podium. The trainer standings, however, are really, we expect them to go really right down to the wire. Look at this battle between Safi and Todd.
Yeah, and it's just kind of been very close each time. Safi will win 1, Todd will win 2 more, and that's just how it's kind of been going. I'm sure we'll see this switch a lot before the Florida Derby.
And Florida Derby, speaking of which, Forte front and center. We expect to see him right back off that awesome return in the Fountain of Youth, and especially with Arabia Ignite coming out now, he's like 8-5 in a 20-horse Kentucky Derby right now. So it's exciting to see him front and center here at Gulfstream Park. Your best bet of the day?
My best bet of the day, why did I forget? Oh, Jack the Cat in race number 1. Going to peel the Band-Aid off early.
I like it. Classy boy in the third for me. And we have the same race, but different long shots today.
Yeah, we might have to do an exacta here, Brian. Fidalia, the number 1, is my pick.
And I've got Check the Grade at 15 on that one in race 6. Both of those races are in the late horizontal, so give both those horses, I should say. And speaking of the Florida Derby, there you are right now. Never too early to get tickets on what will be a huge day on April 1st at Gulfstream Park.
It's exciting. It's an incredible undercard as well. That's just the highlight, the Florida Derby. But it's Derby fever time. I'm getting excited. It's wide open this year.
No, it is, and for sure. And we saw Forte to kick off his 3-year-old campaign. But it's like each and every week, especially here at Gulfstream Park with these newly minted 3-year-olds, somebody else throws their hat into the ring. And then last but not least, this is you on Saturday, right?
It is, yeah. Beat the Expert. I'm up on Saturday. The link is live now to sign up. Just get online at gulfstreampark.com/wagering. If you pick more winners than me, which you probably will, you get a Gulfstream Park polo. But I'm ready. We've got some nice stake races on Saturday, so I'm studying early.
There's a lot of pressure on your hosts. I had a good day on Saturday, and you get that behind you. You feel pretty good because one of us has gone 0 for 13 on the Saturdays here, and I don't think it was you.
No, it wasn't, thank goodness. But yeah, this guy over here had a pretty big day on Saturday. A really nice long shot. I can't wait to see the new Little Jewel shirt.
Little Jewel, boy, how good is she? So we like that. Good to me and good to her connections as well. Little Mike's little sister. But that's it for us. We'll send it upstairs to Pete. He doesn't have a lot to do because there's very, very few scratches today. 8 races, firm turf. We got the fast main track to Peta as well. Happy to have you aboard. Ronnie and I will be back for the opener. Samantha will be out on that firm turf course. Good luck.
Introducing the first racing tool from Pegasus to Preakness. Iconic venues. World-class racing. Millions at stake. New champions will be crowned. Only at First.